Welcome to another edition of Pittsburgh Sportsline live in the BP TV studio. Thanks for watching us. We appreciate you. I'm Al Levine, the Talking Machine. I got Chip Hayner and Smoking Jim Frazier. Wait till you hear what's on his mind. We'll get to that in a few minutes here. But yeah, thanks for watching us on Comcast 7, only in Bethel Park. Thanks for watching us on Verizon 32. In Bethel Park and the surrounding area from Nemacolin to Cranberry, Wexford. We appreciate all that. We hit 6768 on the Facebook page. Thanks for all those likes. We had a high of 6770, so there's a little fluctuation, but thanks for watching our shows and liking our page. We appreciate that. I got a few promos tonight. Thanks to Olive Oil's Pizzeria for sponsoring our show. Nice work on the cameras by Devin Shea, showing my nice orange Pittsburgh Sportsline framing this Olive Oil's Pizzeria. He sponsors our show, and we go on location to his place in Brookline. Call 412-831-1900. A new guy, Casey, cut our pizza. Mitchell made the pizza and cut the hoagie in 6 slices, so we're all good to go. We appreciate it. Thanks again, Frank Finero, Olive Oil's Pizzeria. Then we end each show with Stay Joey Strong. Poor Joey didn't make it to his 9th birthday. It's a Joey Fabus Childhood Cancer Foundation. They're a 501c3. They donate all their money to find a cure for DIPG, the brain cancer that he had that killed him and kills many other kids in the area. It's a death sentence, and it's something they're working on. They have a 5K walk and run September 16th, 9 a.m. I'll be interviewing runners, and we'll be filming it. I should be with Rookie of the Year, Steve, so we'll cover that on September 16th, 9 a.m. So check us out. The Bethel Park Historical Society has a Schoolhouse Arts and History Center there on South Park Road and Park Avenue. They're a 501c3. They do a lot of great things in the community. Just had 5,000 windows put in the old schoolhouse, so it's looking great. They rent it out to businesses there and run different activities throughout the year. Check them out, the Bethel Park Historical Society. Next, we got a fight at the Bronson House, September 15th, 5 p.m. So it's not a late night of fights. There's 10 amateur bouts. It costs adults $20, high school and under $10. So it's reasonable. It's a great historic event. Again, at this place, it's a great venue. It's been around for over 100 years, the Bronson House. We're glad to be there. Thanks to Skeets Lewandowski of Skeets Service Station for asking us to do the fights. Smoking Jim and I will be doing the fights. Rookie of the Year, Steve, will be filming, so we'll have a great night. And they have a pizza sponsor this year, so Smoking Jim and I, we may be eating some slices of pizza there. So check that out. The Bethel Park Community Foundation is another great organization in Bethel Park. They have money for you, $100 to $5,000. Dan Duff said even if it's a great organization, you may get more than $5,000. Get an application at bpcf.org. and get an app and apply for some money for your group in Bethel Park and the good things you're doing here in Bethel. That will help you. Dave Cable likes to have a little fun at my expense. He's director of BP TV. He put my face on Uncle Sam and said, Uncle Al wants you to be on BP TV, 412-831-3304. We got a full house tonight. Devin Shea's back from serving in the military for 3 weeks. I didn't get the report on how he did it, but he looks down about 10 pounds, and he was out there for 3 weeks, so thanks, Devin Shea. We got Steve, Rookie of the Year Fisher. We got Jacob Hill, and we have a young man, Zach Taylor, helping us out. He will not be at Gateway. His mother said no, and that's ridiculous. But Smokin' Jim's, as you all know and love Smokin' Jim, he's an entertainer. And he likes to be entertaining about getting kids from Bethel Park, who they come here for the education in the school district, to go to Gateway and the subpar education and system that they have there. But tell them I want you for BPTV. Contact us. You could be here and listen to Smokin' Jim. If you have young kids and they're athletics, he'll definitely try to get you going to Gateway. Look what it did for him.
If you have young kids and they're athletic and they can't spell their own name, send them to Gateway.
Smokin' Jim will get you a house, and we'll get that going. We also have a sponsor of our show, What's on Your Mind? Skeets Lewandowski of Skeets Service Station. Works on anything and everything that runs on gas. Give him a call, 724-348-4715. Tell him Al Levine, the talking machine, said you should get your car worked on, lawnmower, weed whacker, boat, truck, you name it, anything running on gas. Check it out, and he has a nice buffet every Monday. I won't be there this Monday with Labor Day because I'm not sure what he'll be doing. He should be closed, but check it out the next following Mondays. And that's what I have for you. Smokin' Jim Frazier, I can't wait to hear what's on your mind.
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. And if you want the green,
It's coming at you.
you got to see Levine. And I tell you what, man, on Monday we should get together and crack some ribs together somewhere, brother.
Are you cooking? Let's do it.
I've never cooked a day of my life.
Let's do it then.
But,
My
hey.
man, let's go to Jerome Bettis's. Maybe he could get a rack or two for us.
You certainly know how to put it away.
That's it, man.
You can't cook with it.
I don't trust Hines Ward's place. He got some good ribs, but anybody poison me. But hey, I seen a pretty good movie, Black Klansman. So I recommend everybody to go. I fell asleep halfway through, but the first half.
Is it called Black Klansman?
I think so.
Because Smokin' Jim has a habit. I try not to bring this up, but the disclaimer is he brings the race card out faster than anybody else I ever met, and he's one of the nicest guys that you ever meet in the media. So we're not sure of the title of the movie.
It's based on a true story, and it was good. I fell asleep halfway through. I'm going to have to go back to see the second half.
You can take me as long as you're buying.
But hey, the vote comes down on Wednesday. Wednesday will be the vote for the 5th annual City League Hall of Fame. I am the person that counts the votes, so already called some people that I'm already putting in, even though we haven't officially did the voting. But since I count the vote, the 1989 Perry State Championship.
What a shocker!
And like I said, T.O. changed my mind on something like that, so I put them in finally. And Dana Knapp, real good-looking girl. She's going in. I think she played some sports, but she's going in. And,
Probably the closest she got to
beautiful
playing.
brunette. Beautiful
She's probably
brunette.
put on tennis shoes.
And a friend of ours is Coach Pat Carmack. He's
Congratulations to the legendary Langley coach.
going in. Yep.
He's a
And
true legend. It was a friend of my dad, and that's my friend, so thank you, Smokin' Jim.
And
When is this great event? When is it?
November 3rd, right across from the PPG Center at the Center City Marriott. But I'm gonna do my psychic. I'm psychic. Let me see. This year, who won't go in? It'll be a close vote. But Curtis Martin will not make it. Big Cat Williams will not make it. Amongst others, they will not make it. I'll be doing counting of the votes.
You are a known prejudiced and hateful man.
The vote is on Thursday, but I'm already predicting they won't make it. The Jackson twins will go in before Curtis Martin, and they're not eligible for another 3 years. So.
Wow.
But anyhow, what's on my mind
Yeah,
is,
what is?
Oh, how about a good, quick little white guy, Ryan Shazier? I love it. And boy, he got a good looking
No,
wife.
not
Gabby.
Shazier.
I mean, Switzer.
Yeah.
Switzer.
You're on a roll. You're mixing up
Yeah.
black and white here.
Yeah, this one's white.
Yeah,
And good
Shazier's.
looking wife, Gabby. Whew.
That's
She was
great.
a cheerleader in North Carolina, but I like the pick. But what's on my mind is the
Hold
top
it.
10.
He's on his third team in 2 years.
18
He
months.
was all rookie team last year in 2017.
3
This is only
teams
second
he's
year.
been on.
Well,
How many returns has he even had?
well, Tavon Austin got picked up by the Cowboys,
Yeah.
so they traded him to Oakland, and then Oakland owed the Steelers a favor, even though
Martavius isn't working out
even
that
though
well.
L. Davis and Art Rooney's turning over in their graves because all these trades with the Raiders and the Steelers. We traded a Hall of Famer, Martavis Bryant, to them,
Excuse
so they
me?
owed us.
I didn't hear you.
The most feared receiver in the league.
I still don't hear you.
Yeah.
Something's wrong with
Super
my
Bowl
mic.
MVP this year, Martavis Bryant, win or lose.
Unbelievable.
But here's my top 10. I'm sure we'll get into Ryan Switzer a little later.
Is he related to Barry Switzer,
Yes,
the great
he is.
coach?
He's from Charleston, West Virginia.
He beat up on Pitt when he played them.
In high school, he was all state in track, basketball, and football.
He
Little
went
point
to North
guard.
Carolina.
I know. I heard that.
You kill Pitt. So here's my top 10 dynamic duos, quarterback and receiver tandem. Number 10, B, Greg Frankhauser and Reggie Williams of Beaver Falls.
Is this arena football,
high
college
school
football?
High school
oh,
football.
okay.
High school football.
All right.
Who
Nope.
even cares?
I think we got a Bethel Park on here. Oh no,
Oh, good.
They're not here.
Ah,
Number 10, Nick, quarterback to Scott Schultz Carrick, who's also going in the Hall of Fame, even though the votes are Thursday. Congratulations, Scott Schultz. Here's one, 9B, Scott Knapp to Eric Wicks Perry. Number 9, Brady Walker to Courtney Jackson Gateway. Number 8, best dynamic duo of all time, Ronald Brown to Marcus Johnson, UPrep. That was 8B. 8. Frank Rocco to J.R. Miller, Fox Chapel. Here go one. Number 7. Lenny Williams to Claiborne, Stowe Rocks. Almost done. How about 6B, the twins? The Bender twins, Jeff and Jason Bender from North Hills. How about number 6, Rod Rutherford to Rob Butler, Perry? How about number 5, Billy Stahl to Carmen Connolly, Seton LaSalle? How about 4B, Major Harris to Dap Porter, Brashear? Remember that name. How about number 4, Brett Brombar to Justin Watson, South Fayette? Number 3, Reggie Allen, black quarterback, to Julius Dawkins, Monessen. How about number 2, Ricky Cannon to Dap Porter, Perry? He's on there twice.
how could that be?
How about 1B, Terrell Pryor to Devontae Shannon, Jeanette? And number 1, dynamic duo of all time, Israel Reed to J.R. Hart, Amani Christian Academy. Both of them are on our show, and good karma coming their way. The greatest of all time, Israel Reed and J.R.J. Hart.
Smoking Jim, you've done it again.
Terrell Pryor had his best years before he became a professional.
Thank you, Smoking Jim. Let's go to Chip Hayner, who missed us last week. I'm sure he has lots of great stuff tonight.
Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to our humble show. What's on my mind? You know, I have been every baseball season, for better or for worse, is pretty much like a roller coaster ride. Okay, there's a lot of peaks, a lot of valleys. There's some long, arduous uphill climbs, and sometimes there's some downhills that come along quite quickly with some wicked twists and turns, and sometimes you get flipped upside down.
Bad trade.
So, you know, that gets me to thinking. There is no better way to describe the Pirates' season to date than as a pretty wild roller coaster ride. Okay, because here's the
Many
thing.
highs and lows.
And the season's not over yet, but here's the thing that perplexes me. And it is, why is there such hatred and animosity for the team that has been the longest tenured tenant in this city, has been playing here since 1887. So it has been around long before anybody ever thought of playing football.
Yeah.
They've been around long before Art Rooney ever decided to place a bet on the horses that won him his team.
Yeah.
This team has been a part of this fabric of this city since anybody ever thought about freezing water, skating on it, and playing hockey. Long before anybody ever heard of Mario Lemieux, Sidney Crosby, et cetera, et cetera. Well, that all being said, you know, this year has been, like I said, a roller coaster ride because they start out the season, you know, with people whining and crying and complaining because the Pirates don't spend any money. They're not going to be able to have a good team. They're never going to win again, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And the front office won't trade away prospects. They didn't make any moves, but the moves that they did make by getting rid of Andrew McCutchen, who was on an expiring contract, by getting rid of Garrett Cole, who didn't want to be in Pittsburgh, and he wasn't going to be here past next year anyhow. You know, and they made moves that made the team better. And I think somehow, some way, people lost sight of the fact that really what you should expect out of your team is, you know, is a good quality team that wins more games than they lose. And the Pirates have gone through patches this year where they've won more games than they've lost. They've also gone through spouts this year where they've lost far more games than they've won. But that all being said, you know, we went through an 11-game winning streak in the month of July, and everybody's rejuvenated, and they're Pirate fans again, okay? And everybody, and this whole time, all of our so-called baseball experts that call into the regular radio talk shows, you know, were back on the bandwagon, you know, and expecting all this, and the Pirates made a big move at the end of July.
Yeah.
And they traded for the person that everybody was screaming for the Pirates to trade for, Chris Archer, the savior of the Pittsburgh Pirates. He is going to take us to the promised land. Well, Chris Archer is going to be a work in progress. I believe the flaws that have been exposed with Chris Archer through his first 5 starts, which have not, well, they've been memorable because of their lack of productivity. But, you know, Chris Archer is going to be a great pickup for the Pirates. He has not been yet. So now, you know, we thought that the general manager walked on water and Bob Nutting got his name out of the mud bucket because he pushed to get the trade. So now, whose fault is it now that the Pirates aren't performing well? Well, of course, it's going to be the manager's fault. So now we're going to talk about let's fire the manager because, you know, that makes the most amount of sense because if a team isn't performing well, turmoil is another thing that helps produce positive results. You know, and I find it kind of comical because, you know, I hear the same people that are calling for Clint Hurdle's head still call for Mike Tomlin's head and think that he should be fired, even though he has only won 65% of the games that he's coached in his tenure as a Steelers head coach. So, you know, now everybody wants to fire Clint Hurdle. And then on top, so we spent 3 days going through Clint Hurdle needs to be fired, it's his fault, blah, blah, blah. Well, now all of a sudden a report came out and people found out how much Clint Hurdle's getting paid. Okay, so he's the 7th highest paid manager in Major League Baseball, and he makes about $3.7 million a season, okay? Now, all of a sudden, the same team that wouldn't spend any money, okay, is now being criticized for paying their manager the money that they're paying him. And I don't know what people need to do to, I mean, if you're any part of the Pirates organization, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. No matter what you do, People are going to look for the flaws in everything that you do. And, I know that there are more baseball fans that love the Pirates, that appreciate good baseball, and are okay with the direction that the team is taking because they are going to be contenders again. Maybe not this year, but they will be moving forward because they have the core group of a good bunch of players who have to learn how to become more consistent. Because what happens is the players that we got have proven that they belong in the major leagues. Consistency is their biggest problem. So, I just wish that people would sit back, relax, and enjoy what's going on because all of the experts, I call them the vocal minority. Okay, they hide behind their keyboards because, of course, you would have to have some backbone to be able to go out front of things. They hide behind their keyboards. They text. They tweet or whatever it is that you do there.
Sure.
I have no idea.
That's Smoking Jim.
I have run into far more people that love the Pirates, love Major League Baseball, and they like what's going on with the team. I've met so many of them this year down at the stadium that I just wish that there could be some way to muffle the unhappy ones. But I've been very pleased. Yeah, here's my final point with this. Clint Hurdle everybody agrees, has got this team to perform better than anybody anticipated they would be this year. Would you agree with that? Well, because you told me they were only going to win 50 games.
No, I said 76 or less.
No, okay. So anyhow, so he's got a team that was slated to do nothing and got them into a position of being a contender, and that seems like a good enough reason to fire him.
Sure.
And then the thing that I find the most comical of this all is that now that the Pirates are playing the Cardinals, and the Cardinals are doing very well, now everybody's going to criticize the Pirates because the Cardinals are doing well, and the way the Cardinals do things is the right way this week. Okay, next week it'll be somebody else. But you know what? The Pirates, are a Pittsburgh institution. People need to cut them some slack, and I'm going to keep going to the games because I love the product they're putting on the field.
There you
now,
go.
those people that you say that love baseball, could I meet a few? Because I haven't run into none.
Well,
yet.
here's what you'd have to do. You'd have to actually show up at the stadium before
I
a
went
game
to 4 games.
Yeah, before a game starts and watch all 9 innings and talk to the people. You walk in the 3rd inning and you leave in the 5th. Okay, nobody's people look at you like
I'm getting to know
this.
the guy that cleans off my seat good.
Mm-hmm.
I leave him a buck tip.
Are you kidding me?
You do more than that?
You give him $1.
Yeah.
You would be
Should
better.
I get-
You would
should
be
I
better
give me
served to
some
give him.
more?
It would be less offensive if you gave him nothing.
Really?
Yes, that's
Most
an
people,
insult.
I know people don't dig in their pockets. How much you give? I mean, tell me. I don't know.
My usher, he gets $5 every time he cleans my seat.
Wow. See, I didn't know. No wonder he looked at me funny.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, he turned it into a black Klansman.
You know what I mean?
And he was a white guy.
And you're bragging about giving him $1.
I thought that was good. I thought I did good.
Let me tell you something.
He cleaned that seat
If I
good,
gave you
too.
$1 right now, what would you do? You'd probably drop it on the floor.
I put it get a Coke.
Smoking
And a
Jim,
smile.
you've got over $20,000 in tickets, and you could only come up with $1.
I didn't know.
We gotta move on. Thanks,
know.
Chip. That's why Smoking Jim is just an NFL scout and a gateway promoter. Some things sort of slip through the cracks.
Next time you go to the game, tell me. I'll give you $5 to give to the usher. Okay?
I didn't know. I didn't know. I thought I was giving a lot.
All right.
Well, how come you didn't give him pennies?
Because I didn't have change on me.
The thought occurred to you.
All right. What's on my mind is Steelers. And of course, I'm so happy to hear the malcontent Le'Veon Bell's going to be back Labor Day.
Oh, you know what, though? The tweet that he put out after that is he said, I didn't tell anybody I'm coming in on Monday.
I don't care. I'm going with the rumor that Monday's coming back because he told a few players. And I can't wait to see what Le'Veon shows up. the one that's going to get a couple injuries and maybe a hamstring or a groin injury that he can't perform, and maybe just take it easy because he doesn't want to get injured.
But he will get paid.
Well, definitely. He'll sign that contract now. That $14.5 million sounds great. And, of course, anybody that's watched football for a while knows the Steelers will try to run the wheels off this wagon. So it behooves Le'Veon Bell not to have that happen and to stay healthy and get that multi-year, multi-million dollar contract out there. So it'll be an interesting dichotomy to see how the coaching staff operates, how the Steelers operate, and the shape that Le'Veon Bell's in. He may be in great shape, but what kind of football shape is he in? We learned last year it took 4 games for him to get into the football shape. And then they rested him a game at the end of the year. So go figure that out.
James Conner to the rescue.
Well, this is my point. I saw James Conner, who Smoking Jim calls him brittle, knocking people around like a bowling ball, running through people, because I figured I'm going to watch these preseason games because they're a joke. And I watched that happen. Then I see another back, Samuels? Jalen Samuels. And he actually looked pretty good, like he could run.
Yeah, but take into account that he's playing against 3rd and 4th stringers that may not even
put it like
make
this.
the NFL roster.
It doesn't matter because I'm not a big fan of preseason. I rarely watch a game. This was one of the rare games that I watched. So I was like, here's another shocking thing about the game. I'm a little bit off of Le'Veon right now, but there's 2 running backs that I think could replace him, no problem. Now, I'm looking at the defense, and they're as sorry as could be the week before, giving up 51 points. Now they give up 6 points. Everybody in Pittsburgh saying we have a Super Bowl contending team, where I don't know how that happened because, first of all, the offense has to prove that they're good. Smoking Jim's been telling us for 5 years, but it hasn't proven itself out, and they got rid of their offensive coordinator, so we'll see what the new guy, Randy, can do. But I'm worried about the defense and how they play ball. How can that be?
We have a Super Bowl contending team until Friday morning because we play Thursday night.
Yes, yes. I can't wait for the pendulum to swing back again.
Yeah,
It
you
goes
know
back and forth.
Yeah.
Just like the fans, I call them fickle fans. If we win a game, we go to the Super Bowl. If we lose a game, we'll never fire the coach and all that other
I
stuff.
wonder if Jim has any inside influence. Crybaby Cam going to be playing this week?
Who's that?
Cam Newton.
Oh, is that who they're playing, Carolina? Okay.
He doesn't even know who they're playing.
Smoking Jim is into this as deep as you can get, and he didn't know. But that's what's on my mind. We'll come back with some fiction and fact from Smoking Jim's Almanac. Stay tuned.
Experience history in action as the Frontier Militia camps on the grounds of the Oliver Miller Homestead, located off the Circle on Corrigan Drive in South Park. On Saturday, September 8th, from 4 till 7:30 p.m., you are invited to watch the militia set up their camp. You might be drafted to help with setting up the tents, gathering wood, or carrying water. On Sunday, September 9th, from 1:30 till 4:30, you will learn the duties of the Western Pennsylvania Militia and see these frontier soldiers drill, witness firing demonstrations, and learn how the soldiers prepared their food. Children will help the militia by rolling cartridges and will be taught the drills that the militiamen used. The militia was formed to protect the frontier and met regularly to drill and prepare to defend their homes in case of an Indian attack. They later became an important part of the Revolutionary War troops. Men of good health from 15 to 65 were required to report for service with their own weapons. The Miller brothers were part of the militia and were renowned as sharpshooters who fought at the Battle of Saratoga. Admission for this special event is only $2. For more information, visit our website at www.olivermillerhomestead.org.
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine, and Chip Hayner, and I got my man, Rookie of the Year over there. Devin Shea is back. Got Jacob in the house, and Gateways in the house with Zach. Pizza Man. He got a better tan than you, Al Levine, the talking machine.
They just come back from Myrtle Beach.
But talk about good karma.
Yes.
Pittsburgh Sportsline karma. Two-time team captain back-to-back junior and senior year. Congratulations, Dennis Brigg, unanimously voted team captain at the University of Pitt. And Narduzzi said he's the most mature player he's ever met in his life. And Narduzzi been coaching for a long time. So congratulations, Pittsburgh Sportsline guest, Dennis Briggs.
Yeah.
And what's on my mind is another Pittsburgh Sportsline guest that we had, and I predicted. Well, I'll just give you a quick little background. He came from Atlanta, and his dad was the first black quarterback in Central Catholic history, and then he left there and went to Westinghouse. Hey, they played for Woodland Hills with Miles Sanders. Decided to transfer to Penn Hills. Then got upset with Penn Hills and wanted to transfer again, and that's when they gave me a call to pick the school. And I says, if I was you, I would send your son to Amani Christian Academy, because Plumborough's legend, R.J. Hart, best wide receiver I've seen since Larry Fitzgerald, had already transferred there. And I predicted, even though he didn't start as a junior, they already had a senior quarterback. I predicted and told every Division I coach, including Dirk Winston, that he'll break the state record and throw over 50 touchdowns. And that's Israel Reed. And you can see here he was the National Player of the Week. He went 14 of 18 for 463 yards, 8 touchdowns. He had a perfect quarterback rating, and he ran for another 128 yards and 1 touchdown. And Terry Smith from Penn State gave me a call, and they're looking at Israel Reed. The guy came out of nowhere. I compared him to Ben Roethlisberger, who didn't start until his senior year of high school because he played behind the coach's son. Israel Reed will do the same thing. Look for 50-plus touchdowns from Izzy Getting Busy, Pittsburgh Sportsline guest alumnus, and a future Pittsburgh Sportsline Hall of Famer. Congratulations, Izzy Getting Busy.
He plays for Amani Christian.
Amani Christian Academy. He's the National Player of the Week.
Thank you, Smokin' Jim Frazier.
You're welcome.
We appreciate your segment on Fiction and Fact from Smokin' Jim's Almanac, even though you were all over the place. We appreciate that.
Well, good evening, everybody. And once again, welcome to my trivia segment. And I think we're going to go back and visit the longest-standing sports institution in the city of Pittsburgh. We're gonna
What
go
could it
back and visit the Pittsburgh Pirates. And a little, I guess some people know this, but more probably don't. But as far as Major League Baseball is concerned, and this includes the junior circuit, you know, the National League has always been referred to as the senior circuit. You know, that there is only one team in Major League Baseball that has been the home to more batting champions than the Pittsburgh Pirates. And when you, and I'm going to go through a roster of some of the players, and I know I brought this up several years ago, and I found this out, ironically enough, and while I was taking a tour of PNC Park. And, you know, we got to go down into the batting cages and into the locker room. And that's when McCutcheon was still playing. Wow. And you want to talk about somebody who had a locker full of swag? Yeah. McCutcheon, they had 2 lockers next to him filled with stuff that just merchandise people were just sending him stuff. Please endorse our products. He had more free stuff there than anybody I'd ever seen. But anyhow, Somewhere in the bowels of Forbes Field and Three Rivers Stadium, the Pittsburgh Pirates built an assembly line that created great hitters as efficiently as the nearby mills produced the sheets of steel that built the city.
Very good.
Since 1900, the Pirates have produced 25 batting champions.
Wow.
And a parade of Hall of Famers, 36 in all, that have worn the Pirate uniform at one time or another in their career. Okay? Storied history. The Pirates joined the National League in 1887. Playing in, they were first known as the Pittsburgh Alleghenies. Their first game, 6-2, winning their first game against the Chicago White Stockings, 6-2. The nickname Pirates was hung on the club in 1891 after they were accused of hijacking a player under contract to the Philadelphia Athletics.
I like
Okay, so the Pirates stocked their roster with talent from the beginning. Most noticeably, a somewhat bow-legged shortstop named John Peter Wagner, more importantly known as Honus Wagner.
Oh, yeah.
The greatest Pirates that ever played the game. One of them, better known as Honus, he would spend the next 17 years in Pittsburgh and would be called by both teammates and opponents the best shortstop and perhaps the best player in the history of the National League.
Wow.
Okay, now that's a pretty big accomplishment because the greatest player that they claimed played in the American League. And he also played for the team that had more batting champions than the Pirates. And Ty Cobb, who was the gentleman I'm talking about, I believe won more batting titles than Honus Wagner. Honus Wagner himself was 8 times batting champion.
Wow.
He had a 328 lifetime average, 3,420 hits, and it would be one of the original 5 inductees into baseball's Hall of Fame. The way the Pirates started the 20th century, and that was in 1900. They opened the century by winning 3 consecutive pennants. 1902 team won 103 games and finished a mind-boggling 27 games ahead of the second-place Brooklyn. During these 3 seasons, Honus Wagner hit .353, .330, .355, while workhorse hurler Deacon Felipe won 64 games, and Hall of Famer Jack Chesbro won 22 and 28 games before leaving for New York in 1903. The Pirates represented the National League in the first World Series, a best-of-9 event against Boston. Felipe defeated Cy Young in the first ever Fall Classic game. Felipe pitched 5 complete games in the series and won 3, but Boston won the championship in 8 games. Now, you hear that. He pitched 5 complete games, okay, in a 8-game series. There isn't a pitcher in Major League Baseball that's pitched 5 complete games this year, okay? So
Why'd they go 8 games, Chipper?
it was actually a best-of-9 series,
Oh, I didn't know.
okay? So when they got to the 5th win, there was no need to play the final game because,
Oh, yeah.
you know,
They won 5.
Yeah, the first team to win 5 is the end of the series. After that, they made the series a 7-game series.
I like that better.
In 1909, the Pirates moved to Forbes Field and fielded their first championship team. That unit won 110 games with Wagner hitting .339 and the pitching staff recording a stellar ERA of 2.07. They bested the Tigers 4-3 in a World Series billed as the showdown between each league's best player. Pittsburgh's Honus Wagner against Detroit's Ty Cobb. Wagner hit .333. Ty Cobb only .231. And nobody probably booed him
Wow.
or threatened on social media to. So, you know, there was quite a number of other famous Pirates over those years. The Pirates put their assembly line into overdrive in the early 20s and produced an impressive litany of Hall of Fame hitters. Harold Pye Trainer, lifetime average .320 during 16 years and voted the National League's greatest third baseman. Hazen Kiki Kyler, 321 average in 18 seasons. Paul Wainer, 3,152 hits, 333 average, 3 batting titles during 20 years. His brother, Little Poison, Lloyd Wainer, batting average of 316 over 19 years. Archie Vaughn, 318 was his batting average over 16 seasons. And 1 batting title, and Max Carey, 2,665 hits at 285 average in 17 seasons. So the Pirates have a long storied history of batting champions. So that brings me to the Pirates of 2018 and who could possibly be our next batting champion. I mean, we've got some players on the team that are showing some promise. Consistency is one thing. I'm going to give you a rundown over the Pirates' 25 batting champions. Honus Wagner leads the list with 8. His highest batting average for a season was in 1900, 381.
Wow.
Ginger Beaumont in 1902, 357. Honus Wagner in 03, 04, 06, 07, 08, 09, 1911. Followed in 1927 by Paul Wainer. And what's significant about 1927, Jim?
Yankees.
Pirates went to the World Series. They won the World Series in 1925. They went back to the series in 1927. They got swept by arguably the greatest team of all time, the 27 Yankees. That was Gehrig and Ruth's team.
Murderers Row.
Murderers Row lineup.
And you
Pirates,
call that the Junior League?
the junior circuit, yes, because the National League became into existence long before they did.
First Smoking Jim.
So Paul Wainer, 1927 and 1934, won, and also in 1936. The lowest batting average he had winning his batting title was 362.
Wow.
Okay.
That's some hitting.
Archie Vaughn, 1935, with a 385 batting average. Debs Garms in 1940, 355.
Who was their hitting coach?
It didn't matter.
Didn't matter. They just
They knew how to hit.
Dick Groat, 1960,
Yeah.
325.
Wow.
Okay, National League MVP that year. Roberto Clemente, 4 batting titles, 1961, 64, 65, and 1967, with Matty Alou sandwiched in there between him.
Wow.
Followed in 1977 and 1978 by the great Dave Parker,
He was
National League MVP,
He was great.
1978. Bill Mad Dog Madlock in 1981, 1983.
He got 2 of them?
He actually won 4. He won 2 with the
Madlock?
Cubs. He won 2 with the Cubs. He won 2 with the Pirates. And last but not least, the Pirates' last batting champion, Freddie Sanchez in 2006.
Wow.
So,
McCutcheon never won one?
no, he never got close. Never even got close. And so, I could go on, but I do not believe we have other things to talk about sports-wise. So that's just it. They're the Pirates, the team with the most batting champions in Major League Baseball history, the Detroit Tigers. And I think that has more to do with Ty Cobb than any other player, but the reason why the Pirates are second, because of Honus Wagner.
Sure. Thank you, Chip Painter. Appreciate that. I love that trivia, and you educated Smoking Jim Frazier.
Yeah, for real. Thank you, sir.
Baby. On location, September 17th, mark your calendars. We'll be at Olive Oil's Pizzeria, 7:30 to 8:30. Frank Fanera is canceling the $5 pizzas and $5 hoagies, but they will have other specials that night, so come on out. We'll have some guests lined up for that show, and we film 7:30 to 8:30, like I said, and it's a great night out there at Olive Oil's Pizzeria at 930 Brookline Boulevard, down towards the end of Brookline Boulevard. Great location, great place to eat. A lot of great food there, as you know, with Olive Oil's Pizzeria here in Bethel Park. and 3 other locations. So check them out. Make sure you see us there September 17th. And that's my on-location report for tonight. We'll be back to talk some buckos. Hi, Bethel Park. Uncle Al speaking. I'm asking you to come help us behind the scenes at BP TV. We're looking for some proud Bethel Park residents to help us make the shows that you want to watch. For more information, contact Station Director Dave Cable, and we will see you behind the cameras at BP TV.
One of the things we do at BPTV is encourage our producers to film on location. Not only does shooting on location give our producers the opportunity to take advantage of their subject matter, filming in different locations gives each program its own distinct flavor. This also helps anyone who's flipping through the channels avoid confusion when they turn on BPTV. With around 500 programs produced at BPTV each year, the last thing we want people to think is that we're only broadcasting one program. So, you need to come into BPTV to pitch your TV show. But in terms of where you actually end up taping your show, the sky's the limit.
Thanks for not changing that dial. We got some bucko talk. 64 and 67 they are, so they do have a chance to get above 500. They do have another chance to get more than 76 wins, as Smokin' Jim predicted that and bet on them. But they're having some tough times. I think they've only won 3 of the last 13 games, so they're struggling with consistency. They've played brilliant at times. They've played the best teams and won. They've played the best teams and lost. We just don't have that consistency. You got a lot of young ball players that have some talent. It's great to see.
The one thing with this year's Pittsburgh Pirates, the one things that they have been consistent on, I would say at least over the last 8 to 10 weeks, is the quality starts the starting pitching staff.
It goes without saying,
now,
yeah.
Granted, Chris Archer was supposed to come back, and he was supposed to part the Monongahela River, right? And
even the Allegheny, maybe.
He was supposed to walk on water and all this. Here's what I believe is going on with Chris Archer. Chris Archer's been a quality pitch starter in the National League, and if you look at his stuff, he's got swing and miss stuff. He's going to make a lot of people look foolish going after his stuff. I have not studied tape, and I'm sure the coaching staff is doing that as well as Chris Archer himself. I believe that he's tipping his pitches. And I think once they figure out what he's doing wrong and can get him to get to the point where they can get that worked out, I think Chris Archer is going to be a good quality starter for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Is that going to happen before the end of this year? I don't know, but I think, this is one of the things that Ray Searage is great at. They're going to look at videotape of Chris Archer when he was the best that he could be. And they're going to match that up against the way he's doing now. And I will bet any amount of money that we find out down the road here that that's exactly what the problem has been. Because I tell you what, I was watching him on Sunday, and I mean, he would throw a pitch that if you had a 2x8, you couldn't have hit it, okay? And then the next thing you know, he throws one fat down across the plate, and boom,
Heart
it
of the
got,
plate,
and
yeah.
it gets deposited in the seats. So, I think they're sitting on his fastball, and his.
And he is coming right over the middle with a lot of these pitches, which are taken advantage of. So I think it is just fine tuning.
I think
that they can
I
do.
think it's a flaw that can be fixed.
Yeah.
So
Don't bet on it.
what's that?
Don't bet on it. You said
I don't
you-
bet on anything,
You
Jim.
said you would bet.
You know
We
what?
needed negative stuff from
Figuratively speaking,
Smoking
not
Jim
literally,
Frazier.
Jim. Not
If we didn't
literally.
get negativity on the Pirates from Smoking Jim, we wouldn't know what team we're talking about.
I told
But,
you guys it was a
we've
mistake
got
over in Austin
we've got another month of the
Yeah.
season, and I think
That's why he's still in the minor
we're going to
leagues.
see players like Kevin Newman and
Yeah.
and Kramer come up. He's going to as second baseman. Unfortunately, we're going to see less and less of Josh Harrison and
Sure.
Jordy Mercer. Jordy Mercer's injured. I can't play right now.
Same with Josh Harrison.
Josh Harrison has cleared revocable waivers.
Right.
Which, so that you can understand, the Pirates most major league teams put every player on their roster on revocable waivers before the August 31st trade deadline. That way, if somebody wants to lay claim to them, they revoke the waivers, and then the other team has to negotiate with them to be able to get them. Irrevocable waivers is what happens before the end of July. So, Josh Harrison cleared revocable waivers, but do I see the Pirates moving him? I don't think you could move somebody with a bad hamstring.
No.
And it's a lingering kind of injury that the only thing that's going to help that to heal
Time.
is rest. And of course, he's not going to rest him during the course of the season. Will they pick up the option on Josh Harrison's contract for next year? If the Pirates hold true to the form that they've had, the chances are better than likely no.
Sure.
Jordy Mercer,
Let me ask you this, Chip, while we're on that subject. Could the Pirates have traded Josh Harrison instead of Austin Meadows, in your opinion?
No, because
That's a different-
Austin Meadows has more of an upside to a team that's rebuilding. Josh Harrison has already got 6-7 years under his belt in the major leagues. He's actually his best season when he batted like 315 or something like that, 317, was in 2014, and that was the one year that all of his statistics that year were significantly higher than his career statistics have been, and that's the year that got him his contract. So I don't believe that he would have, he would have been desirable to someone.
I miss Austin Meadows.
Well, you want to know something
He's
about
still
Austin
playing in
Meadows?
the minors.
He's still in the minor leagues. He won't be on a major league roster
You could go see him.
until Saturday. And you know why he won't be on a roster until Saturday? Because the rosters expand to 40 men from 25 on September 1st. Okay? So, Austin Meadows, I had no problem with the Pirates trading prospects for what they got back. I think Chris Archer can be a good, solid starter in their 5-man rotation. Moving forward.
He got a losing career record, don't he?
I don't know what his
Yeah,
career statistics
losing.
are.
Under 500.
Always looking for the negative. There's nothing positive about Smoking Jim Frazier, from people that beat up Gateway players to less than 500 winning records.
I thought the Pirates, I know they did it for attendance. They were hurting financially. They had to do something for attendance.
No, they did it for the game on the field. Did you understand that?
Yeah, but
Did
they
that
needed,
pass you by?
but they needed,
This is for the play on the field.
Yeah,
They
but-
won 11 games in a row, which Huntington challenged the team, and they superseded what he thought they would do.
And you get ready
So-
for a great one.
They forced his hand to improve the players on the field. This is what he picked.
And he got rid of a great one.
No, he didn't. If he were so great, he'd be playing in the majors right now.
He's going to be great.
Well, we
You
don't
don't
know it
know
yet.
that. You don't know that.
He's a prospect.
What happened to your man
He's a
Frazier?
prospect.
You
You know-
lost Frazier.
Dude,
Frazier's playing.
Wait a minute. You know, the
Bash
minor
brothers.
leagues are full of prospects. Would you agree with me?
Willie Stargell and all them
What-
started there.
would you agree with me that the minor leagues are full of prospects?
Yeah.
Less than 10% of the prospects in the minor leagues make it to the major leagues.
How did Austin Meadows do when he got a taste of the majors? He was
He did
was
okay.
knocking them out of
He
the
had
park.
he had a great 3 or 4 games.
I thought he should have made the All-Star game. And there's,
He couldn't.
Well, you go back to your Hall of Fame. I mean, come on. You think he should
If
have
you
gone
want
to the All-Star game?
nonsense,
Yeah.
talk to Smoking Jim Frazier.
Jim's already chiseling his bust for
if he was going to trade
Cooperstown.
for somebody, trade for Tim Tebow.
Why would they? He
And
was
he's
injured.
not. He's somebody that's never going to
He's
make it out of
injured.
Double A.
He was an All-Star this year.
Yeah, but he's
He
injured.
made the All-Star.
He got injured.
He's injured, and
He's injured.
if he's so good in minor leagues, why is he not playing for a team as bad as the New York Mets are?
He's working his way up. All-Star game.
That doesn't
All-Star
even make
game,
sense.
All-Star game with Double A.
Uh-huh. So
2
you don't
years
have an
away.
answer for that.
2
He
years
got-
away. He ain't played in how long?
He's
need
going to
him
be
now.
he's going to be 35 years old by the time he makes the major leagues, right?
Willie, what's the guy that was old that's in the Hall of Fame?
Satchel Paige.
No, Will played the outfielder. Let's play 2. When he went in the Hall of Fame, said let's play 2.
Ernie Banks.
Ernie Banks. He was 30 when he come up.
No, he was
Yeah.
not. No,
yes,
he was
Ernie
not.
Banks was 30 when he
No,
come
he
up.
wasn't.
They stuck him in the
He
minor
was a
league
young-
because they
he
had
was-
a good. Who did he play for?
Chicago.
Yeah, he was stuck. Check
He
it.
was a young
Look
man.
that up. I'm 2-0. I'm 2-0. I was right on Archer being under 500, and I'm right about
I don't know
what's his
about
name
this.
again? Banks.
Ernie.
He was 30 years old
Let's
when they
play
brought him
2.
up.
Banks.
They kept him in the minor
Jim,
leagues.
he could not have been.
Yeah,
No. You want to know why?
good black don't
He
crack.
played
He
from
looked young.
1953 to 1971. So if he was 30 years old in 1953, he'd have been
was
in a
48.
wheelchair by the time he retired in
That's major or
1971.
minor
Major.
combined.
Major.
They kept him there long.
That's 18 years, brother.
Okay, debut September 17th, age 22. 9
I was
days.
wrong on that.
Age
I was wrong
22.
on it. Somebody was 30.
Uh-huh. It sure wasn't him. It sure wasn't him.
Folks, if you need baseball expertise, do not contact
I'm
Smoking
1-1
Jim.
today.
So, you know,
Talk to Chip Hayner about it.
so now that we're getting down, we're winding it down. We have a Steeler game Thursday night.
Josh Dobbs is going to start.
How many quarterbacks are the Steelers going to keep on the roster
I
this
would
year?
keep 4.
They're going to keep 3. Dobbs is out.
And I think 30 Red should be the starting middle linebacker. And they don't like him because of his red hair. There's a prejudice.
I don't think that's it at
And
all.
the
As a
league
matter
on
of
red hair.
fact,
Ask Andy
I'm
Dalton.
watching him, and
Making tackles
I
all over
have
the field.
I haven't been impressed with what I've seen.
Making tackles all over the field.
Uh-huh. I don't believe so. I don't believe
These
that's
two
the
could
case.
argue after the show, and they will continue to do so. I want to thank everybody for watching our show. Thanks for all the fine help we had from Jacob to Zach to
Gateway.
Steve to Devin. We appreciate it. Thanks to Dave Cable for letting us put on this show. The only live show still in Bethel Park. Thanks again for watching us, and please stay Joey strong.